What's up, guys? I'm going to do something a little different. I haven't seen anyone do this, but just to see how it works. I ran this race and I'm going to show it to you in a more cinematic view, like as if you were watching it on TV. And hopefully you guys like it. And I'll talk a little bit about the game as it plays. So, taking it from the start. We're here at Phoenix, same settings as usual, 25%, 3 times square, and I started in the rear, so there I go into turn 1. I really like this replay. I mean, it's pretty cool. It gives you a good view as if you were on TV. I'd love to see them add a few things to this. First of all, you can't fast forward. You know, you should be able to fast forward 1 lap at a time, so you can go to whatever lap you want. Instead of, you know, the way it is now, you have to sit through the entire race, which is cool. I mean, but you still should have the option to fast forward or rewind if you want to see certain parts of the race. You can go back and see what happened from a different angle. There's a lot more they need to do with this. It's a pretty basic replay, but I like it. I think it's a cool look. You know, gotta add more stuff. I like to watch replays once in a while of a race. It's just cool. Now, imagine if they added an editor where you can add stuff post-race just to give it a cool vibe, you know, just something, make it more, add presentation to it, make it look like you were watching the race on TV, and then you can post it online and people can watch it as if they're watching a race on TV, which I think it's cool. You saw there I got a little squirrely, little contact. You can change the camera views as well, but I like this. Now it'd be cool if, like, you can have Darrell Waltrip and someone else talking in the background. It's just cool stuff. I mean, I suppose if I actually knew what I was doing and I knew how to edit videos, I could just take this and then edit it and add sound and commentary to it, so, and make it seem, you know, look and sound like you know, a live broadcast. But I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I'm very old school. I can barely post these videos as is. But I like this. I mean, there's more they need to do with this stuff. The presentation of the game is very important. So, as of now, I've worked my way up. It shows I'm in the 13th position, so working your way from the back to the front is very easy. It's a very easy track. It's one of my favorite tracks. I like it. It's unique. There aren't really any other tracks like this. It's got its own unique shape, and you do have to know how to handle each corner. And I don't think there's a track where I use brakes more than here into turn 1. Maybe Martinsville, Richmond, but you do got to use brakes here. And it's a lot of fun to drive. I really enjoy this track. Like I said, I really like it, you know. Let's see a couple of other angles. So this is the third person view. Most guys, like I noticed, play this way. I don't prefer this. I prefer the cockpit mode right here. Right here I use a lot of brake and I cut it in towards the bottom. I try to keep it there and then I get on the gas. It's a very tight corner. I usually don't make any passes there, but you want to just maintain. This is where I make all my passes here. Now at this point in the race, I was 11th, and I was just pretty much holding on. Like once I got to this point, it's like I hit a wall. I wasn't really able to make too much progress. I think I made a couple of spots. We'll see as it plays out. And here's a chase cam view. Sometimes you'll see this during the race. I think it's really cool. Yeah, I overdrove that corner that time. Like I said, it's really tight. You gotta show a little patience. And over here is where you can take it in deep. Pretty cool. And like I said, right here I try to just maintain. I don't really make up spots, but I try not to lose any. And then turn 3 over here is where I try to get some bite into the corner, and as you can see, I'm pulling away. There's your hood cam. This track is being reconfigured for next year, so the start-finish line is somewhere around right here where I just drove by. They're gonna add a stands past turn 2. I really like this track. It's a lot of fun to drive if you have a decent setup. That's one of the things I like about this game in particular as opposed to last year. The stock setup, the way the car handles it. I don't know if there's any track that you can't really race on this stock setup. So you don't really need to know setups, although you got to make it so that people get into that stuff, you know, and to do that you got to make the AI more difficult. You know, the game's too easy right now. But as far as just being able to drive the track, I actually enjoy just about every track, and that wasn't the case last year. You know, certain tracks I just hated. Martinsville, Richmond surprisingly gave me a hard time. This track was a bit of a handful, you know, if you didn't work on it a little bit. And New Hampshire, that was another one I just hated because it's very difficult to get the car to handle the way you want and you know, be competitive. But with this game, you know, it's just, I'm just talking about the handling, you know, and I like it. Like I said, the problem is, you know, the AI. If they added a slider system, we're approaching the first stage. Should be ending. There's another shot from the top. And back to your televised view. So as you can see, the stage comes to an end. Caution's out. Unfortunately, in this race, you know, everybody stayed out. So I stood out with them. I didn't pit. I just stuck with their strategy. So we'll all be pitting soon. But here's the restart after the first stage. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys! So that sucked, but you know, it'd be cool if somebody could take this and add all the proper sound to it. It would look pretty cool, I think. Now, restarting on the outside is pretty hard at this track. I don't know if there's too many tracks harder than this one because it's very easy to overdrive that first turn on a restart. You really want to be on the inside. So right there I found an opening and I I took it to the bottom. So I'm happy at the bottom here. Restarting at the top, a lot of times you'll lose spots because they'll dive bomb you underneath and you're just trying to hold on without driving too far off the pace. But I was able to get a decent restart and just not really get run over. And now I'm running the bottom. And I'm back to racing. So we should be seeing green flag pit stops in a few laps. And I'll talk a little bit about that once it's happening, because there's a couple of things they can really add that they really have to, just to add detail to the game. So I'm running 9th at this point, and I wasn't really mowing down the opposition. Well, I got a little loose there. I took it a little too deep. So I lost one spot, but I didn't really lose it. And that corner, you can see when you turn into the turn at the bottom, it's really close to that wall. I almost scrape that wall every time I do that. And I'm not gonna lie, I've had races in the past where I actually hit that inner wall and the car just went flying out into the track. It was like a complete disaster. Right here. Now that one wasn't as close, but other times I cut it really close. You gotta be careful there. But this track has a lot of character. I like it. And this turn, I'm always at the bottom, but if you take the top here, if they give you room, you can actually, you know, there you go, the pits are starting. But like I was saying, if you take that at the top, you could angle it down and actually get a faster lap time. And I was able to do that a few times. At right here. Alright, everybody's pitting except me. I decided to stay out, and the reason I did that was I wanted to wait another lap or two, because several times I pitted and the caution came out. And I was actually a quarter lap down once, and I don't want that to happen. So I'd rather stay out an extra lap or two and then take my time, pit right, and if the caution does come out, I'm not quarter lap down. So right here I'm coming into the pits. And this is cool, you know, it's a green flag pit stop. Now, what I was talking about earlier with detail, this is the detail I'd like to see. I want to see pit crew members coming over the wall, changing tires, instead of an invisible magic stop. So I'm coming down to my pit, and you'll see I'll pull in, and everything's invisible, there's nobody there, just magic. I'd love to see like the crew chief up in the booth there, just moving around. I'd love to hear the air guns and then pull out. So I'm just talking about detail, you know, presentation, cool stuff, man. If you want to watch a replay of your race, and those are the things you'd love to see. So that was a clean pit stop, and I came out, I was 7th at this point, and I was having a good time at this point. I mean, I wasn't just easily blowing by people, and I was needing to figure out what I needed to do for my last pit stop, because the end of, I believe, stage 2 was coming up at this point. So it was going to be another moment where everyone stays out at the end of the stage, and it was going to be another green flag pit stop, I believe. So right now I'm just trying to maintain and figure out if there's anything I need to do to the car. I didn't make any change on the first pit stop, and I had meant to add a little tape, but I forgot. So I didn't make any change, and at this point I'm just trying to move up. I'm in the 6th spot at this point, lap 33 of 78. I mean, this would be cool, just watching this and listening to commentary. And of course you want better engine sounds and stuff. And maybe have a ticker go across the top, and you could see you know, go down the field and you can see where everybody is, just like a TV presentation. And those are things you can do to add to the game. And then people would post these type of videos, and you would sit there and you could watch it, and it would be like watching a broadcast. I mean, it's definitely doable. And you could at any point change the camera, just like when you're watching a NASCAR race. So just throwing some ideas out there. I think there was a caution here. I didn't remember. Yep, there was a caution. But everyone stayed out, so I had stayed out with them, because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to win just by some stupid AI pit strategy. I want to earn it. So restarting on the outside, like I said, is really hard. So it's just, you want to keep the car pinned as much to the bottom as possible, because if you don't, you'll get run over. So right here I'm looking for a spot, and I was very aggressive there. I dive bombed it because I need to be on the inside as quickly as possible. And this is where I want to be. And now look at the end of the wall here. I would always cut it right there. You saw how close that was? That's what I was talking about. You got to be real careful there. And like I said, I've had races where I actually hit that and the car went flying out into the track, taking out like 10 guys. And here we go with the chase cam. And you could see, you just want to maintain there as long as you don't lose spots. And then this is where you make up time. And there you go, you see, watch. Well, I didn't get off that corner too well. Eventually I'll get it. But right now I'm running 4th, and you can see, maintained. And yeah, see, you're kind of pulling away, and I'm catching somebody. Kansas. Alright, so now if we look from above, this is a good view to see if you had contact or some kind of incident. But I've really focused on racing clean, so I didn't have any incidents for this race. And that's a good view. But there's no, you know, you can't fast forward or rewind here. You can only go to the end or to the start. And you gotta fix that. You should give people options on what they can do with this replay. And you can see there, I was making up time. I fell back a bit. And back to your TV broadcast, back from commercial. So at this point I'm in 3rd, and now it's all about getting to the front, and then maybe I can pull away. And I was a bit aggressive there, but I avoided getting into Kurt Busch, and the AI raced very clean. The other thing I'd like to see, and this is the thing, I think it would really help with the difficulty. You should be able to have a slider that can add or reduce 2 or 3/10 of speed per lap, like from the AI. Let me explain real quick. Like where you pick your legend and all your pre-race settings, there should be a slider for AI difficulty, right? It's already on legend, I get it, but there should be a second slider where you can like add, you know, like I remember last year there was a +2, +1, +2 thing. Well, you should have it where you can, as an option, you can add it and raise it a bit, so that right now they're on legend, but you can make them run 2 to 3/10 a lap faster. And I mean the whole field. You'd be surprised what a difference that would make. I mean, just 2 to 3/10. Like right now I take the lead, and they fought me for a little bit, but okay guys, hold on. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that, guys. My wife called me. She doesn't know I'm recording. So, where was I? Yeah, adding a slider, and believe me, 2 to 3/10. Like right now, I'm kind of pulling away, but if they had 2 to 3/10 of speed per lap, like added to the AI, I'd be fighting for a top 5. That would make a huge difference, and it's not like you are giving the AI like a ridiculous level of speed. You know, then you could work on your car setups and stuff, and I think that would make a big difference, because I know the game is just too easy. But if they were 2 to 3/10 quicker, you'd have your hands full, I believe. So there's a lot you can do with this game if you really just sit back and take everything in. I love these replays. It's like watching the race on TV just a little bit, but if you could add, you know, commentary or anything like that. I mean, if I knew how to edit, I would take one of these races replays like this, and I would do it, but I have no idea how to do any of that stuff. And add some real authentic NASCAR sounds, because everybody hates the vacuum cleaner sound. So it's lap 53. I'm in the lead. I'm not really pulling away at this point. They're within distance. And I know people, they hate the graphics, but you know, all things considered, it's not terrible. The jagged edges everywhere, that's what really gets me more than anything. Everything has these sharp jagged edges, the fence, everything. If you smoothed all that out, you know, the game would look better, but it's not terrible. And you can see there's some frame rate stutter. So you actually, you know, if you had a better frame rate, there's a lot you can do. It's all in the details. So, I think Jimmy pulled into the pits. I think people are starting to pit. Now, imagine being able to design your fire suit and your whole crew was wearing the same fire suit. And now everybody's pitting and you could see your crew wearing the suit you designed. I think you gotta add stuff like that to the paint booth. Give people more customization options. And then, obviously, you're gonna have to add a lot more presentation to the game so that you can see all this stuff throughout the game. The little details matter. Those are the things people remember, you know? Like games from back in the Thunder series and stuff. You remember like the pre-race. How they went down the whole field and you knew who was starting where. There was a little more commentary. I mean, you remember stuff like that. That's what I want to see in this game. So I'm pitting now. You see other cars pitted, but no crew members, nothing. No, you can't even hear air guns. So it's just has that unfinished feel to it. Like this game is still in the middle of development. This is like a demo. This, you know, when you see stuff like this is what you expect to see in a demo, and then it's like, okay, the final version, everything's gonna be filled in. Right here, you should see the car jacked up, gas man, everything. Even some movement. You know, all you see is shadows up in the crew chief's booth. I mean, how cool would that be? I think most people, after they've run a race, they would love to sit back and watch a replay if it was done right. That would be really cool. Maybe see, like I said, show that ticker across the top so you know where everybody's running. So, I haven't seen anyone do this, but you know, showing this replay after the race was run. I'd love to see somebody who's really good at editing take something like this and spice it up. Make it really look like you were watching a race on TV. I think people would love to sit back. I mean, it's one thing to sit back and watch gameplay video of somebody just like, you know, running like this in third person. You know, it's okay, but it's not the same. So you show them the broadcast, you know, view, and I'm obviously not somebody who's good at doing like a broadcast. I imagine Dave Moody, you know, with his iconic voice doing a narration of this race. That would be cool. So, right now I'm in 7th, and we're cutting it close. It's lap 63, coming on lap 64, so it's 14 laps left, just about. But like I said, you know, you don't even have the option to fast forward like when you're watching a replay on your console. It just says, if you see at the bottom, it just says jump to start into the end. And that's it. You can't like go to lap 70 like right now, or go back to lap 33. You just like, you got to watch it from the beginning and all the way to the end, and you got to change that. Now I know a lot of people are like, it's not a big deal. Who watches the replays? It's not the point, man. It's these games right now, you're capable of doing a lot more than what they're doing. And like I said, the details matter. And I've always enjoyed these types of replays. And a lot of games now, they have, you know, photo editing and video editing where you can post clips of your games, or even pictures of whatever game it is. And you could do that, and everybody, you know, they can share it, like it, put it on social media. I'm a little old school, so I'm limited at what I can do, but I'm throwing this out there for a lot of you guys who really get involved in that stuff. And that would be great if you had that option. So I'm up to the second spot, and I'm just trying to pass Kansas at this point. So I had a good time with this race. It wasn't super easy. But if you had a option to you know, add maybe a couple tenths to the AI, not only would it be more challenging up front, but it would be challenging for the guys at the back too. They should run a little quicker. You shouldn't be able to pass 20 cars in like 3 laps. So if you use the slider and you add a little speed to the AI, it affects the whole field, and just to make it a little harder for you. So right here I'm gonna take the lead, thanks to a pick by Clint Boyer. I think I was gonna get it anyway, but if I was Matt Kenseth, I'd be pissed with Clint Boyer there. Lap down car in the way like that. So Kenseth is not far behind, but I'm going to be able to stay out. And we've got Eric Jones in the way. So I used them as a pick. Well, not really, but now he's in Kenseth's way. And now Kenseth's got to come around the outside of Eric Jones, which is it's just going to slow you down. Yeah, so I'm gone. And we're pretty much coming to the end. It's coming into lap 75. We got 3 laps to go. And that's another thing, you know, there's no burnouts. I'd love to be able to do a burnout and then it's part of your replay, and then they show you in victory lane. Just add the whole mix to the replay. I mean, that's the stuff you want to show people. So let me know what you guys think. Do you enjoy watching, if you watch gameplay video, this like from this perspective, I think it's better. And there you go, some guys pitting to the invisible crew. I guess the good part is there's no penalties. You can't tell how many guys are over the wall. They're all invisible. Then again, the officials are also invisible, so it's just I don't know. These are the details that really, if you gotta hire some extra help, man, just to make this stuff possible, it's worth it. You know, you at the end you get a more polished product, and people would be happier with it. I know I'd be. And in many ways, the games from many years ago, there was a lot more attention to detail, even though they didn't have the technology they have now. Like, these consoles are much more advanced. And that was the race. I'm just here talking, I'm not even paying attention. Yeah, I think that was it. See, it'd be great. Yeah, that was it. But we should be watching a burnout right now, and then right on to victory lane. So anyhow, that was a fun race for me, and I thought it was interesting to watch it in this mode of replay. What do you guys think? If you got any ideas, let me know. I look forward to your comments. Later.